Hello everybody, Gannon here. We're back in my kitchen, and today we are actually making a dessert for WFC today. Fall is here, it's very pretty outside. I went to a farmer's market today and I bought like apples and jam and like squash, and I'm just feeling very festive, so I wanted to make a warm dessert because it's starting to get a little bit chilly outside. I love fall, and I also love the food that comes with fall, so today we're going to be making a like a peach cobbler bread pudding type thing. If you've never had bread pudding, it's basically French toast that's baked in a pan, and it gets a little bit congealed, and all the flavors just kind of melt together, and it's really warm and soft and inviting, and I'm really excited to make it. So first thing we're gonna do, I have my oven over here set to 350 degrees. I think that's like an appropriate baking temperature. First thing you're gonna need for bread pudding is you're gonna need at least a serving that I'm making today. But by the way, everything that you're going to need will always be on your screen, like I usually do. But I'm gonna be taking this whole thing of Texas toast. This is a pretty cheap dessert too. Nothing fancy, like pie filling at the store is always super cheap. I think this Texas toast was like a little bit over $1. So you're gonna be taking your toast and you're gonna be coming over here to your baking tin, and you're just going to, I like to do that, kind of like rip it in threes, and you're gonna be putting your toast just around that pan, you know, like you really just don't give a fuck. Katori's down there. That's our new dog, Katori. She's a sweetheart. But yeah, you're gonna be ripping this like randomly, like you really just don't give a fuck about this bread. You just wanna put it in the pan because it's just gonna be made into a pudding. Rip these ones in half, make them like bigger pieces. I'm really smushing it down there. I want this to have a lot of layers. Make these some small pieces. So yeah, do it however you like, however you want, because at the end of the day, you just want all these layers to, when this bakes in the oven, to just kind of fall on themselves and make it pretty delicious. Make sure the corners, that's a little bit important, that the corners over here are filled in. Look at a little pat down. Looks beautiful to me. That is actually picture perfect, if I do say so myself. Now we're gonna put that aside because that's our bread base for the bread pudding, and now we're going to make the yummy, delicious stuff. Normally, like when you're making a French toast or something, you know, you'll do eggs, milk, sugar, cinnamon, and then you'll just plop the toast in there, plop it in a buttered pan. That's kind of like how French toast is. We're basically gonna be doing the same thing, except we're gonna be putting it in a bowl. We're gonna be mixing it, and then we're gonna be putting it on top of our bread pudding. So like I said, it's definitely just French toast in a pan. So first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna add our milk into there using vanilla almond milk. And we want a decent amount. I'd say that's about like, you know, like 2 cups or something maybe. Then we're gonna be adding our egg in here, and I'm going to pour that in there, emulsifier, maybe a little bit more. Now we're gonna be adding some more imitation vanilla to this, a little bit of a splasheroo. That seems appropriate for the serving that we're trying to make. There's the lid. All right, now that I've finally got this lid off, we're gonna be adding in, you know, we're gonna douse the top of this so that it's like covered in nutmeg. That is enough. And then we're going to do the same thing with cinnamon. I'm going to kind of approximate the measurements as I usually do when I type it out later, but I'm kind of winging this when I'm making this. I've actually never made a lot of these recipes that I've made on WFC before. So in the video, I'll probably just kind of be feeling my measurements because that's what I usually do in the kitchen, but I'll give you guys like an appropriate approximation later for those of you who are kind of a little bit uncomfy cooking or like winging it, because you know I used to be uncomfy doing that when I first started cooking at home. So we're gonna mix this all around, and that is like exactly what this should look like. From what I know about bread pudding, this is looking like a very appropriate bread pudding mixture. All right, and then the last thing I'm going to be putting in here is a shit ton of processed sugar, like a shit ton, because that is what makes a dessert good. If you guys ever make desserts at home and you're thinking to yourself, damn, like why isn't this as fucking like fire as when I get it at a bakery or are just somewhere where they like sell like really nice desserts at restaurants or anything. Like, why isn't it as good as that? It's probably because those places aren't scared to put in a lot of the good stuff. There we go. That looks good. That looks like a lot of processed sugar, is because it is. That's how you make something good. You put a lot of sugar and fat in it. So when you go out and you pay good money for those restaurant grade expensive desserts, it's because those people are definitely not afraid to put a lot of fat and sugar to make it taste good for you, the consumer. And that is what I'm doing here at home. I'm putting a shit ton of sugar in this mixture because I want this bread pudding to be delicious and decadent on this beautiful fall day. Troy. Thank you, dude. Smell that already. Very happy with how it's smelling. I think it does need a little bit more cinnamon. There we go. Oh, fuck, dude. There's a whisk right here. I should be whisking this. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, here. Whisk this shit. If you have a whisk, use it. I didn't notice the whisk until now because I'm unaware of everything. But you should definitely be whisking this. It's really hard at getting this fully combined. All right, that seems like it's done. I'm gonna pat down my bread. I'm going to now, oh, also, first thing I think I should do before putting in the mixture, I wanted to put the peach pie filling in here. Maybe I'll take a couple pieces of bread off and then put them back on over the pie filling. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm gonna open this can of pie filling. Look at that. Actually, I'm gonna take some more out because I want this like to really like go throughout the bread pudding. So I'm actually gonna rearrange this a little bit. And I'm going to, you know, spoon this pie filling throughout this bread pudding. All right, that looks appropriate to me. Pretty well spread out. And now on top of that, I'm going to put some of the bread that I've taken off. And we're gonna put that in there. I am going to just smash this down with my hands. I'm sorry if this isn't too pretty, but this is what I gotta do to get the job done, you feel? All right, now you're just gonna wanna give your mixture a quick stir before you pour it over this. See, I have this little flexible bowl, so I think what I'm gonna do here is just making sure it gets over everything. I might have a little bit left over. I think I probably did plan on making a little bit too much mix, but that's perfectly fine. Seems like an appropriate amount of moisture. I don't think I'm going to pour any more in, Troy. I think I'm gonna let that kind of fall down there. Seems like it's very well moisturized. All right, guys, so I have just noticed that I've done something a little bit wrong. I did not butter my pan at all. I didn't butter that fucking pan at all. So what I'm going to do is take this butter, because I just saw this butter sitting over here, and I was just like, I didn't butter this pan at all. So what I'm going to attempt to do by fixing this is put this butter along the edge of the pan right here, so it runs down the edges, and hopefully will make it so that I could get it out of this pan later. All right, yeah, no, that right there does seem like an appropriate amount. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the oven. And another thing that I'm kind of doing wrong right here is that I should be covering this in foil. You definitely need to cover bread pudding with something when you're putting it in the oven. I don't want to run to the store because I'm lazy. So we're just going to be putting this at kind of a no, this isn't even a low temperature. This is the appropriate temperature. We're going to be putting it in the oven at 350, and we're going to be putting this bitch in there for a whole hour. Yes, a whole hour. And again, like a lot of the things I make on the fly, this doesn't really look that good right now, but I promise you, when this pupper is done, I think it might look good. I'm not gonna confidently say that it will, because I really don't fucking know. But I think it's gonna look good, and I think it's going to taste delicious. So in about an hour, we're going to be making our caramel liqueur sauce, and we're gonna be putting some chopped pecans in there, and that's gonna be drizzled on top of the bread pudding when it's done. We're gonna be topping it with a delicious peanut butter ice cream, and this is just gonna be a good dessert. So we will be right back, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, guys, we're back. It's been an hour. Now, I will tell you, normally when you're cooking this, you're going to wrap it. Like I said, you're going to cook it for about 45 minutes, and then take it out, unwrap, and then cook it for about, you know, the rest of the hour, or maybe longer if you think it needs a little bit more brown on top. As you can see up here, I do have some sugar just in a pan that's heating up. I just put it down, but I'm gonna be getting the bread pudding out of the oven, and wow, look at that right there. That looks absolutely beautiful right now. All right, guys, this looks like really good. It's perfectly browned on top. You can see the nutmeg and cinnamon all over the top, and the peaches and everything are cooked brilliantly. So basically what's going to make this a pudding now is that after you've cooked it and baked it and everything, you're going to put it in the fridge, and you're going to let it completely cool. All the moisture in there is going to congeal the bread a little bit so that it all mixes together and all those flavors meld, and it's delicious. And then it's going to be like a nice pudding texture when it's completely cool. So we're gonna be putting that in the fridge. That's probably going to be there for like an hour or two. Right up there in our beautiful organized fridge that I just cleaned. And with that, guys, we are going to now start making our topping. Right here I have sugar in a pan that is on high. I'm going to wait for the sugar to start melting into a caramel, and then I'm going to start adding some other ingredients. So we will be back in just a moment. All right, now this caramel is starting to melt pretty nicely in the pan. Open this thing of chopped pecans right here. We're gonna put that, and we're going to start mixing this together. We're gonna get that all coated. Beautiful caramel pecans, get it down on the heat for sure. And the pecans and the caramel are really gonna combine here, and it's gonna finish melting. Gonna kind of coat this over here. All right, now that is really just like melty and looking delicious. So what I'm going to do now is add some almond milk to this. What we're also going to be adding in is a little bit of Malibu, this coconut liqueur, because you need to add a little bit of liqueur to this to get it like flavored nicely, and then just a little dab of vanilla flavoring. What I'm going to put in there right now. Now we're going to start incorporating this together. Alright, now that I have this mixed a little bit and more incorporated, I think the last thing it needs to just kind of, you know, make it so that all this stuff kind of stops being sticky and annoying is a dab of margarine. I want that to kind of get in there, because now you can see the sauce is kind of thick, starting to thicken up. The liquor is now going to add in like the liqueur, sorry, is going to add in like a little bit of a undertone to it, make it a little nice sauce. Usually you'd want to do this with like a bourbon or a whiskey or something, but I thought that coconut liqueur would be fine. Alright guys, I think I'm very satisfied with that. It's bubbling, it's a little bit, you know, it's not thin or anything, it's a little bit thick. It's got a lot of beautiful fucking smells coming back, for real. Alright, now that's all done. That is to my satisfaction. We're going to now put all this into this bowl, let it slide down in there. Same thing that we did with the bread pudding now that we're doing with the topping. We're just going to put this into our fridge to fully cool, and that's gonna hopefully solidify or get solid or something. If I did that right, it should. Both these things are still, the bread pudding is still warm from when we put it in here. So we're gonna come back in about an hour or so, or maybe later tonight. I might finish off the night with the bread pudding, but right now, we're all done. That's all done. The only thing left to do now is to plate and give it a try. So I'll see you maybe in an hour, maybe in a couple hours, who knows, but for you it's just gonna be the next jump cut. I will see you in a little bit. Alright guys, we're back. It's actually been kind of a hot minute since we filmed our last clip. I just really wanted everything to cool down and for the bread pudding to be perfect. So now after your bread pudding is cool, it's kind of now has a pudding texture. I'm gonna take some of this like delicious topping that I made. Yeah, I'm just gonna literally just wipe it off with my finger and just kind of, you know, spread that shit around right there. And we're gonna put it in the microwave, and I think I'm gonna put this thing in there for like 2 minutes. And then our topping is going to melt and then seep into the bread pudding. The bread pudding is going to be delicious and warm. I'm gonna put a little bit of ice cream on top and have some almond milk with it, and it's gonna be very delicious. I cannot wait to try it.
And do you see this?
That's so cute! Aww. Alright, here we are. It's been in the microwave for 2 minutes, and I have to say, that melted perfectly, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at that, Troy. Wow. That looks like something out of a fucking, like, mommy magazine. Alright, a little tip here. Peel bananas from this side because like that's what monkeys do or something in the cartoons, and it's just easier to do that way, so that's a little tip. But I'm gonna get this big ass flaccid banana and I'm gonna, you know, cut some bananas up, thinly slice them. Fuck, bananas are good. Alright, and the last thing I'm gonna do is just top it off. Bam! Fuck! That looks so good. Alright, now this looks absolutely fucking delicious. I think I'm going to finish the rest of my matcha almond milk over here. This stuff's fucking delicious. Put a little packet of like stevia in there. Sweeten it up, and it is dangerously good. Wow, this looks really fucking good, Troy. Like, how, like, what do you think of that right there?
It looks really good. Wish I wasn't allergic.
Yeah, Troy's allergic to cinnamon, so he can't actually have any of this. So I'm gonna get some of this peach pie filling, some of this ice cream. Give it a try right now. Troy, that's fucking delicious. That's so good. That's unbelievably good. I am sick. I'm not even gonna cap right now. I've been on fire with these recipes. They just keep on getting better and better, man. It was a beautiful fall day out. This is such an appropriate dish. Bread pudding is pretty easy to make, and it just kind of looks impressive to guests. So I would totally recommend to make it. It's, fuck. This is so fucking good. Anyways, yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish the rest of this and totally schlump and hit the hay. But yeah, guys, this is a really good recipe. Thank you again for watching another episode of WFC. I've really been getting good feedback about this. I love that you guys are liking the cooking videos. I love cooking at home. Next video I'm gonna do is a one-piece video, and that'll be out tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Always leave a comment. I love reading your guys' comments. And with that, guys, I'm gonna have to see you in the next one.